Hello and welcome to Joyful Motherhood. If I look sick, it's because I am, but I really wanted to make this video. I made a goal to put up 2 videos on my YouTube channel, so I thought I will just use the experiences I'm going through and make videos about that because I think this is really educational and interesting. So I have mastitis, which is a breast infection. It happens when you're breastfeeding and milk can get clogged and then turn into an infection. And I've definitely had it before, but this is unlike anything I've experienced. It was a really bad case, and I just really didn't want to go to the doctor to get antibiotics. So I tried to treat it naturally, and it's working. So in this video, I'm going to show you what I did and tell you what I did, and then hopefully it will help anybody out there that's going through the same thing. This will help you treat mastitis naturally before getting antibiotics. If you are new to my channel, please subscribe. I make videos about motherhood, birth, pregnancy, healthy living, mental illness, lots of things. And so basically my life. So I kind of have all the products that I've been using next to me so I can remember what I did. But to start with, I'll tell you the basics about how to treat mastitis before it turns really bad and the signs and how it can start. So what happened with me is, I didn't realize this till afterwards, but I was butchering chickens the other day. There's going to be a video about that, or there already has been. It was my first time, and I was leaning forward for like an hour plucking the chicken. And so I think standing like that and the way my bra was kind of pushing on my boob, it like clogged my milk there. And it was really hot outside, so I make lots of milk, and it got clogged, and I didn't notice. So I just nursed my son like normal, whatever, but I didn't nurse him on that side the entire night. Sometimes I just get lazy and I don't want to roll over, so I'll just nurse him on one side. I think that's what happened. So the next day it's full, and I didn't notice any pain, but I was rushing around that day. And I'm just going to pause right there and say, mastitis is usually a sign that you need to slow down. And I forget that, because my son is 16 months old. So it's like, I'm not a brand new mom with a newborn. I take it easy at that time. But I forget sometimes, that my job is intense. Like I'm making milk for a human. And when you get really busy, you can forget to take care of yourself. And that's what I did, and I learned my lesson because I was very sick for so many days. So I was planning a party that night with all of my family. It was a Utah holiday here. I committed to making the entire meal, and in my mind I thought, I'll go all out. I'll make appetizers and dessert and all these things. So I went to the store, took all the kids. We have to wear masks in all the stores right now during COVID. It was a big ordeal, and it wasn't until I got home, unloaded all the groceries, that I started to feel a pain. And I was like, oh, weird, okay. So I massaged it a little bit and nursed my baby, and then it just hit me so hard and so fast. All of a sudden my body shut down. I had aches and pains, chills, just body aches all over like you have the flu. I had chills, and I'm like, oh great, do I have a fever? So I called my husband, and luckily he was on his way home to surprise me an hour early from work. It was good timing. He came home and helped me, but I just took off all my clothes and sat on the couch and started nursing my baby, because that's what you gotta do. That's the absolute best thing. So my first tip is nurse the baby a lot. Don't neglect the other side, because you don't want to develop mastitis in the other side, but mostly focus on that side. And tip number 2, massage. So before nursing the baby, during nursing the baby, afterwards, at any time that you can bear the pain, because it will hurt to massage it, just do circular motions down towards the nipple. You want to work the milk down because it's stuck and there's an infection there. So having the body aches and a fever, which I didn't get the fever at that time, but if having the body aches is definitely a sign that the infection is spreading, that it's in your body and your body's trying to fight it. So it's past the point of like a plugged duct. That means you're at mastitis infection. So despite what Google tells you when you look it up, how to treat it naturally, you can treat it without antibiotics. It says on Google, must be treated with antibiotics. It's not always true. Now, I'm not completely against antibiotics, but why not give it a try, and within 24 hours see if you notice a difference. with the natural remedies. That's my go-to for most things. So that's what I decided to do. I compiled my little list, and I'll show you all the things that I started using. So first things first, you want to boost your immune system, because if you have a really strong immune system, it can fight it off really quickly, and it could just be a plugged duct. But my immune system was lowered because I'm going through this weird thing this week. I gotta figure it out, but my son got thrush. First we had thrush. I still have thrush. He was doing great. He looked better. There's going to be another video about how I treat thrush naturally. But one of the things is grapefruit seed extract. And I'd been treating my son, and he seemed a lot better. I didn't have it, and I was super surprised that it didn't pass to me because it's, contagious that way. But then all of a sudden it did. And I think that that's why I got mastitis, because your nipples can get itchy, dry, cracked, rashy looking, and that can be a way that bacteria can come in, so that might have been it. But overall, my immune system is just low, because guess what, guys? I got some weird pukey sickness in the middle of this. While I had mastitis, I also started puking, and not from the mastitis. And I only know that because my husband was also puking and had a headache. And so I had both these things at the same time. But he didn't have body aches, and so I know that that was the mastitis. Okay, so overall, strengthen your immune system. How do you do that? Vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, silver. Colloidal silver is really good. I like to use essential oils. I have Immunopower. What is that? Immupower. And there's so many other ways. Thieves oil is great. So strengthen your immune system first. Help your body to fight the infection. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I took medicine. I took pain medicine. And you guys know me. I have natural births. I am natural everything. I'll use essential oils before I'll take medicine. But I was in excruciating pain. Excruciating. It's nothing like giving birth. It's so different. And so I was taking 4 ibuprofen and 2 Tylenol. I don't recommend it, but I had to do it. I was losing my mind. I was in so much pain. And so I also stayed in the bath as long as I could, like hours. I just sat in a hot bath, kept adding hot water, and I could barely move. So after a while, I just did the pain reliever, because ibuprofen is an anti-inflammatory, and that's what I really needed to get the inflammation down, handle my body aches so I could move. But I stayed in bed and rested. I didn't just get up going around. And honestly, the medication didn't even take away the pain. It just took the edge off. That's how much pain I was in. And I just kept asking my mom, isn't there more medicine I can take? Like, can't I just, what's next? Like, I've already taken all of these. What else can I take? And there's nothing. So then you just deal with it. So another thing that I should have mentioned earlier, but I'll put in here. Warm compress. So you want to heat up the area that is clogged. That will help loosen the milk, and so you should put it on before you nurse, maybe while you nurse, and then at just different times, just to move the milk. That's the name of the game. You want the milk to get out. So speaking of that, drink tons of water, so much water. You need to keep up your milk supply to keep it moving. So if you drink enough water to keep your milk supply going, you'll continue to make milk. It will continue to go through and get cleared out a lot faster. So I had mastitis for a total of, I'm on my 4th day, and it should have cleared up by now with what I've been doing, but I think it set me back because I also had that weird puking thing, and so I couldn't stay hydrated, because I'm like throwing up. So if I had drank more water and kept up on the supplements and everything, I think it would have been faster. But let me tell you my big main thing. Because when mastitis gets this bad, I knew that I was at the point where I probably needed to go in and get an antibiotic. Honestly, what held me back was, at that point, I'd have to go to the ER when I realized it was really bad. And who wants to go to the ER right now when COVID's going on? And there's so many procedures and everything. I would have had to been tested probably. So honestly, that's the only reason I didn't go. But I'm glad I didn't, because I didn't need to. But what I did was I had my mom bring me some raw garlic. This stuff. And I chopped it up. Actually, my husband chopped it up. into pill-sized pieces, and I just threw it in like a pill and drank orange juice and took like the whole clove in one sitting. Garlic is so amazing. It's a natural antibiotic. It's just like full spectrum. It can cure so many things in your body. And so sure, it doesn't work for everything, but why not try it? Because it sure worked for me. I think that that was like the thing that finally did it and got me through. So it's kind of gross, but it's so worth it. Another thing I did was I had my husband make up some dandelion tea, really strong, with 3 bags in a half cup of hot water, and then I dipped a towel in it and used that as a hot compress right on the spot. And so dandelion root is really helpful. The hot was really helpful too. And then another thing I did the entire time is use essential oils on the infection. So I have a really awesome friend. Her name's Raina, and she knows so much about essential oils. I remember I was in the bath and just freaking out, and I texted her, and she messaged me back immediately and gave me advice, and she said this worked for me. So she said put lavender and thieves oil in olive oil and then just rub it straight on the breast and then use warm compress, and that should cure it. And so I totally believe her. I think she's right. The only problem is I didn't have the specific oils that she said. I wish that I did. I'm sure I have lavender around here somewhere, but honestly we were all just so sick. It was just like I couldn't find it. So this is what I did instead. So I ended up just making a little concoction of what I had, and I for sure think it helped. I put it straight on, just massage it down like every hour. Thieves has, I know that it has clove and cinnamon in it, and so I had those. I can't remember what else, but pine, I don't know for sure, I gotta ask her. But I heard that this was like an anti-inflammatory, and so I put that on, and I think it helped a lot. One other thing I tried that I don't know if it helped was cabbage leaves. So you can actually use cabbage leaves to decrease your milk supply. Like if you want to dry up your milk, there's a few cases where that's necessary, and so I've heard of it. And obviously I didn't want to dry up my milk, but I just put it over just where that part was, and I think it helped with the inflammation. I think it kind of dried up the milk right in that area. It was amazing. And I didn't have anything to lose. My son is 16 months old. I'll probably still breastfeed him a lot longer, but if my milk dried up in that side, it wouldn't be too hard to get it back. I still got the other side, I don't know. So I wasn't too worried about doing that, but definitely be careful, use caution when you're using cabbage. And then one more thing that I forgot to mention, when I'm talking about feeding the baby a lot, like you honestly, you just want to get in bed naked with your baby, make them naked too, because it encourages breastfeeding, and just nurse. And you can also pump, but it's not as efficient, especially in a case like this, because if you, I don't know where I learned this, but if you point the baby's chin towards the place that's clogged, like it's in line with where it's clogged, they're going to drain that part of the breast way more efficiently. So if you've got the clogged duct right here, you want baby's chin to be right here, so they're milking the breast right here, and it draws the milk from the clog. The hard thing here was that mine was up here, and so he'd basically have to be upside down. So we would lay in bed, him sideways like this, his head's here, and then me down like this, and just try and point his chin toward the clogged duct, and it wasn't always perfect, and it started to hurt really bad. We just had to get through it, just breathe, and let him nurse as much as he could. And anyway, so I hope that was helpful. We're getting through it. I'm almost done with it, I think. And then we just got to get this thrush cleared up. That will be the next video, talking about thrush. But it can be done without antibiotics, so don't think that you have to take them, because antibiotics can have so many negative effects for your life. Honestly, I don't think it's well known yet how much damage they can do to your body and to your baby. So I'm really careful with antibiotics. So I'm really grateful that I'm able to treat this naturally. So here are just some of the ways. I will also have a blog post down below that will have lots of resources. It will have more natural treatment options than this. Please check that out if you're interested. I hope this was helpful. Please subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!